up, you beautiful human beings? You guys are back again for another episode of the First and Tuna podcast. My goodness, you guys are amazing for being here. This is your Northern California home, your channel, your community. If you're a Rams, 49ers, Chargers, or Raiders fan, this is the place for you. I don't care if you're a football nerd like me or if you're a newcomer, you're trying to become a football nerd. We've got segments just for you. I'm your host, Tuna, and welcome to the pond or the studio. I promise I won't do more fish puns or water puns. I'm sorry for that. Won't happen again. We're calling it the pond. It's going to happen. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. We're 5 weeks through the season. You guys have been bearing with me. We did miss an episode last week. Tuna had a little tummy ache. Wasn't feeling good for most of the week, but we're good now. By the time I was ready, I was like able to record. It was already Saturday night, and for me trying to put out a good product for you guys, it was like, man, I'm not gonna force people to try to listen to this shit like with 8 hours to go in the day. Didn't make sense. So appreciate all the messages. Anything anybody was gonna miss it, some people did. You guys are cool for that. Yeah, we're healthy now. But that being said, all the love and support through the first 5 weeks of the season. This project has been super fun for me to do. This whole experience is making the football season super fun. It's going by really fast because of it, and I have you guys to thank for that. A huge thank you to Mr. David. He's helped me with the lighting, with the audio, with a lot of the production value here in the studio. That way it's not as half-assed as it looked in week one. If you guys paid attention to week one, just the difference in lighting and the audio, night and day. Thank you, sir. He is a podcasting savant, and I thank you for that. But no, besides the messages you guys sent last week, thank you to all the support so far. The fact that we've had so many viewers through this first month of this project, of this podcast, you guys are awesome. Keep liking, keep subscribing. You guys are doing awesome so far. But I do want your feedback. Like, tell me things you do and don't like. You can send me a DM on Instagram. You can comment below if you're here on YouTube. Tell me what you do and don't like. Tuna, hey, stop pointing out that Brock Purdy has no facial hair. We don't like that, Tuna. Get it off the screen. You know, shit like that. Just tell me. We'll take it out. We're slowly crafting what the segments week in and week out are going to be. There'll be some mainstays, like I said, recaps of the week, lessons for Swifties and for newcomers alike. Those things are mainstays, but we're adapting as we go, and I want to hear from you guys. With all that love, all those thank yous, a little bit of an announcement. We are growing in collaboration and scope a little bit. Pretty soon in the next week or two, we are going to be collaborating with an artist by the name of @CornDoggyLOL. If you've never seen this person's art, hop over to Instagram and give them a follow. On the video here, I'll tag them below. But man, their art is literally the cutest, the coolest, and like just the most original bit of art I've seen. They do a lot of graphics for NFL players, NFL teams, and just week in and week out, putting their own iteration on the sport. And I love it. Obviously, it's going to help, with media for trademark infringement, stuff like that from the NFL. But they're nice enough to collaborate with me for the rest of the season, and we are going to be using their art on the videos version of the podcast. So thank you. Looking forward to starting that, and I hope you guys enjoy it week in and week out. Go give them a follow. They're awesome. We are 5 weeks into the season, and this is actually one of my favorite early milestone segments of the season. Week one is cool because kickoff, like, yay, football season is finally here. Week 5, week 6, we're a quarter of the way through the season. First part, what I like, October, weather's getting cold. It's a little nippy in the air. It's a little windy. If you ever play football, like this time of year, this is when it's really football weather now. Get to wear a sweater now, not just ironically or to cover out my love handles that I'm gearing up for winter. But it was actually cold, and I love it. For me, it just makes football that much more enjoyable. But that being said, football nerd talk, we're a quarter of the way through the season, and you can treat it like a regular football game is broken up into 4 quarters. The season 2 can be broken up into 4 quarters. First quarter, just like a game. First few weeks for a team can be a little sloppy. Maybe some teams are trying to feel each other out. Pause. Maybe they're getting used to new teammates, new coaches, new systems. They don't know if they're good or not. Who knows? But just like a football game where each quarter typically progressively gets better as it goes, fourth quarter, that's how you're typically getting some really good finishes, some last-minute wins, come from behind victories. So be it does NFL season. Some teams' first few weeks are pretty bad, but as they get more experience, they get into the groove of things, the next 3 quarters, the rest of the season, they get better as time goes on. So what does that mean? That means the next 4 to 8 weeks, you really get to understand which teams are going to be actually good, which MVP candidates are going to be consistent and be, top of the game, or who was just a flash in the pan, who was just happened to start hot while everybody else sucked. Who knows? It's really hard to take that first quarter and say, yep, that's how the season's going to go. You really don't know. Things change. But the next 2 months will be really telling. So, yeah, mark my word. That's my hot take, that the next 2 months of football are important. But no. To celebrate the fact that we got through the first quarter of the season, though, got some different content for you guys. We're going to go through our normal routine. We got some recap of the games this past week. Got our lesson for the newcomers, the Swifties. But now we got our quarter season awards and our what the fuck list. So my hot takes per se are going to be who I think is going to be MVP so far, who's been the best offensive player, rookie of the year, coach of the year, 5 weeks into the season, but also the what the fuck list. Honestly, I just want to make some of a few teams, of a few people, and I want you to join me. Sound good? All right, let's get into it. Starting off with a snapshot of where our 4 highlight teams on this podcast currently stand. Niners are a fucking good football team. Yeah, they're 5-0. The only other 5-0 team in the league right now is the Eagles, and they're going to be playing each other later in the year. Going to be good. Chargers, they had a bye week. Quick lesson, if you don't know what a bye week is, every team has 1 week in the year where they don't play a game. They get a week off. Go recover. Go hug your wife and kids. See you next week. Rams fell to 2-3. They lost to the Eagles this last week. And the Raiders won in a thrillingly boring night football game against the Packers. Although, hey, still 2-3. Good for them. Yeah, we're going to cover all these games. Another snapshot. Remember, we got our season-long bet with other friend of the podcast, Mr. Malik. Man, you're mean. You pulled ahead by 3 games. I kind of fucked up a little bit. I took some chances on some teams that I thought would be a good pick. And clearly, it bit me in the ass. Malik pulled ahead by 3 games. So I'm at 49-29 for the season. He's at 52-26. Hopefully, if you're watching, you like his little logo there, a little Fresno State shout out for Malik. If you're a first-time listener, we got a season-long bets. We pick every single game. Loser with the worst record at the end of the season has to buy the winner a jersey of his choice. I already called my shot. If I win, he's buying me a brand new Aaron Donald jersey. That's going to get framed and put up right there. So I hope I win. Oh, fuck. And every single week on Best of the Week, it's going to change a little bit. Sometimes it's highlights. Sometimes it's just what's the best storyline, what's some funny shit that's been happening around the league. The best storyline, the best content that's came out of Week 5 comes from the 49ers game. And the whooping, with a capital W, hard H, whooping they put on the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. They won 42-10. And just to explain how badly this game went for Cowboys from start to finish, let's look at this highlight here.
Stop! He's already dead.
Sorry. I couldn't help myself. But that is pretty much how it went. That was hard to watch. 49ers are just dominant from start to finish. The quarterback's playing like at an MVP caliber. But some of the best content, man, the memes that came from this, if you saw the sad Cowboys fan, that's been an ongoing meme that seems to change every single year, because the Cowboys have this tendency to be hyped that they're going to be really, really good, and then when it comes to a big game, especially against the 49ers, they don't perform. well. I'll say it that way. They don't perform well. And every time the camera happens to cut to a Cowboys fan in the stands, it's always some extremely sad and disappointed fan. Basically, he's probably calling his Uber home at this point. I would too. It's okay, guy. Happens. Other storyline, George Kittle. Let's see what you had on underneath that jersey, bro. So for those of you not watching, George Kittle had a really cool custom shirt on underneath his jersey that said "Fuck Dallas," which is a throwback to the 1994 49ers player. I don't know that player's name off the top of my head, but he wore the same shirt when they played the Cowboys in an NFC Championship game. It's kind of a cool homage throwback to that, rekindling a rivalry between the Niners and Cowboys, and just good old shit talking. I mean, George Kittle scored 3 touchdowns. Talk your shit, man. I respect that. I appreciate it. But who did not appreciate it was Mr. Micah Parsons, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see what he said.
My guy, but I'm going to say this. Laugh now, cry later. We got something for that. Just trust. If we see them again, just trust. And we're going to put it just like that. I ain't going to put too much on it. You going to make it personal? We can make it personal.
Like, yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, dude, you guys, it wasn't like you guys lost a close game and you're defending yourself from the other team talking shit. You got whooped. It's kind of like this I don't want to say unspoken rule. You earned it. Honestly, there's very few times where you can unabashedly just go out and talk shit like that. This is one of those times. I know I critiqued the 49ers 2 weeks ago for going about it the wrong way. This is the right way. Go, kick someone in the mouth, and then just generally talk shit. The Fuck Dallas shirt is hilarious. I'm still going to talk shit on 49ers, though. I can't help it. I can't help myself. I'm so sorry. So Micah Parsons said that about making it personal. 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel, the next morning, he responded to Micah Parsons saying this.
I think,
How personal is it?
It was already personal before the game started. Now, 42-10, I don't think you want to see us again. It might be a little bit worse.
Which he's not wrong. I love it. I do love the rivalry talking back and forth. So many times do you see rival teams actually friends with each other, which is cool. Be professional. But I do love this part. It makes the sport so much fun. But I just usually have a problem with Deebo Samuel being the one who's talking like this after last season when they lost to the 49ers. And I get it. Purdy got hurt. It was unfair. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. That's a whole other conversation to get into a different day. But with him talking as if he's done anything in the league, like won a championship, or like he hasn't cried himself the last 2 postseason losses, and like just playing the role of crybaby all last offseason. It's just interesting hearing him talk. But that being said, I got to eat my own words. Like I said a few minutes ago, they win that big. Talk your shit. I get it. All in all, this was just some funny back and forth. It was rough watching grown men just getting embarrassed on live TV. Winning 42-10 is not like a small feat on primetime like that. Again,
Stop! He's already dead.
so that was my favorite part of the week. Let's move on to something different. Let's focus on the newcomers. Hello, newbies. Hello, Swifties. Whatever you like to call yourself. New fan of the sport. Maybe you're a transplant to a new city and you want to root for a new team. Welcome. Every single week we're going to have a topic that seems super basic. Maybe a lot of people don't understand. Majority of these topics are coming directly as direct messages to me. Sometimes as a significant other of a big football fan, and they're like, don't understand. Like our first topic, we covered what the fuck is a first down? What do those yellow lines mean? This week we're covering what's a field goal? What is a field goal? Field goal is worth 3 points. People tend to know a touchdown when you get in the end zone is 6 points. Okay, a field goal is 3 points. Why? Why even kick the field goal? If it's worth less points, why is it happening? Well, sometimes you don't reach that touchdown. You don't reach that end zone. Sometimes you're so far out, and you get to that fourth down. Remember, we talked about you get 4 chances to reach that first down, that yellow line. But maybe you're too far away. But maybe you're at a point on the field where you know your kicker, hey, can you kick this field goal through those yellow goalposts, through these things right here? If you can kick through that, we'll give you 3 points. So it's a sacrifice. It's a risk you take. You're giving up on the chance to move the ball and go get a touchdown. But as a small prize, you're getting 3 points instead. So it's a calculated risk at that point. But apart from that, fourth down, giving up on that. End of first half, so when it's about to be halftime, if you're running out of time but you're close enough, hey, let's get 3 more points before we go to halftime. Or at the end of a game. That's a big one. You tend to see that a lot. Drive down the field. Let's get close enough. Maybe we're down by 1 point or 2 points. Or we need 3 points to tie. And we're running out of time. Let's get close enough, kick a field goal to either win the game last second or to go into overtime. What is the consequence of missing? Very simply put, if you miss that field goal, other team gets the ball right there where you kicked it from. So it is a calculated risk, very different from a punt, obviously, which we will cover as well. But, yeah, that's a field goal. You get 3 points. Don't miss it. All right. Little something different for you guys. Like I talked about earlier, we got quarter season awards. This isn't going to be a big flamboyant thing. I did reach out to some of these players to try to get them on the show. Just scheduling, agents. I didn't want to, be big time, have them on here. We'll have them on at a different time. I think these guys are performing super well. Let's see if they can do it moving forward. First and foremost, do I think he's actually going to win this award at the end of the year? No. But it is going to be a topic that we talk about next week, about this team in particular. My MVP so far, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffinated, because that's how that dude plays. He plays like he's had way more coffee than everybody else on the field. He is head and shoulders above everybody else that's playing right now that's not a quarterback. MVP is typically slated, usually gets won by a quarterback. Very difficult for somebody who plays any other position to win that award at the end of the year for really dumb reasons. But that being said, yeah, Christian McCaffrey, honestly, through 5 weeks, dude's best player in the league right now. Love to see it. Who is my coach of the year through 5 weeks? This is a very biased pick. I'm very aware of it, but I'm picking Coach Szn McVay, because he is Bay right now. I said it. No, Coach Szn McVay of the Los Angeles Rams. Honestly, like I said, very biased pick. I'm sure there's a better option somewhere. But honestly, through 5 weeks, the whole narrative of the Rams coming into the season was we were going to be terrible. We have way too many rookies. We only have 3 good players, and the quarterback, the defensive lineman, and 1 wide receiver. 3 players on a roster of 53. We were supposed to be terrible, near bottom of the league. We're 2-3 right now. Competed very, very well against great teams like the Niners and the Eagles. Just made rookie mistakes. And I think him in a put-up or shut-up type of season, he's done extremely well. And for that, he gets the title of Coach Szn McVay through 5 weeks. Love you, Sean. Sorry you couldn't make the show, man. I know. Scheduling happens. Rookie of the year. This is going to seem super biased, but this one you really cannot argue with it. This dude has been a phenom. Came out of nowhere. Another Rams player. I'm not doing this on purpose, I swear. Ricky Puka Nacua, dude is killing it. He's top 5 in stats all across the board. I think he is leading the league in receptions. Stats are here on the screen. I'm so terrible at this portion of the podcast. But the point is not about stats. It's about making you feel home and just listening to me talk. But rookie Puka Nacua, he was drafted in the 5th round by the Rams. And typically when that happens, if you're not like a top pick, nobody really expects you to, one, possibly not start, or let alone perform like a top 5 player at your position, and that's what he's been doing. Our best wide receiver, Cooper Kupp, was out for 4 weeks. He stepped in as a rookie, and since day one, boom, he's lighting the league on fire. He's a phenom right now. He is one of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year right now. Great pickup. Fun to watch him play. Great story. Some random awards I want to give out. Most exciting player to watch. Christian McCaffrey is, was a finalist for this one, but I'm giving him MVP for the first 5 weeks. So my most exciting player is Cheetah himself, Tyreek Hill. Dude is arguably the fastest player in the entire league. If you've been watching any of the Dolphins highlights, the fun thing to do right now is to try to figure out what their what their nickname is going to be. Because when in a position group on a team is really, really good at something, they get like a goofy nickname. When the Seahawks defense was really good, they were the Legion of Boom. Sounds dumb. It's kind of cool as hell. So the Dolphins wide receivers and offensive group, because they're all so fast, the fastest group in the league. People are trying to figure out, are they the Legion of Zoom? Are they the Sultans of Speed? I, for one, like to call them Surf and Turf. I don't know why. Just sounds cool because of Dolphins. Dude's fast as hell. If you ain't seen any highlights, just watch him. He's just faster than everybody on the field. And my last quarter season award, surprise of the year. Honestly, keeping it out here on the West Coast. Arizona Cardinals getting some love. Quarterback Joshua Dobbs. You want to talk about having little to zero expectations? This is what makes me love football so much. All offseason, even before games happen during the week, media outlets, they'll have a narrative of like, oh, because this team's not good on paper, or because we don't know anything about this guy, he's got to suck, or he's going to perform poorly. The human element, the dogness inside someone's heart gets written off too many times, and that's what makes me love football so damn much. It's because somebody can come out of nowhere, and even for Joshua Dobbs, quarterback of the Cardinals, he's not playing like an MVP by any means. But if you want to look at this dude's history just in the league, he looked like he was slated just to be like a career backup. He's a super young guy, very unassuming. He wasn't like a top talent by any means. He got traded to the Cardinals right before the start of the season. The Cardinals are a team that seemingly on paper are supposed to be one of the worst in the league. They got a brand new quarterback who knows nobody. He doesn't even know people's names. Steps in week 1 and has helped this team be at the very worst competitive in every single game. Like, you don't watch him play and say, oh, he's awful. Like, why is he even out there? No, that's an NFL quarterback. He's performing, and you can see him getting better each week. Look, he kind of had a crash down to earth the last 2 weeks after playing the 49ers, but everybody does at this point. But no, honestly, surprise of the year, Joshua Dobbs. I love seeing stories like that. So we'll see how he does the rest of the year. Be excited to see how he does 5 weeks from now. And then here is the short list of what the fuck list. Very simply put. On this list, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Let's just name them all right now. We got Sean Payton, coach of the Denver Broncos. Bill Belichick, coach of the New England Patriots, and just the Patriots organization as a whole. Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, recipient of that ass whooping this past Sunday. And then the Baltimore Ravens. Sorry, Malik, I got to talk about them. Going down the list really quickly, Sean Payton, a lot of to-do, a lot of hubbub this offseason, coming in, taking over from a dysfunctional last season that the Broncos had. Sean Payton came in kind of talking a lot of smack about the last coach. We talk about shit talk on the show. If you're going to do it, you better back it up. He has not backed it up. It's been atrocious. To summarize it, what solidified him as number 1 on this list is allowing the Miami Dolphins to score 70 points on your defense. As a professional team, you cannot allow 70 points. That's video game bullshit. That right there, sir, adds you to the list of me asking, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Okay? Number 2, Bill Belichick. Man, this one, it's like nice to see the Patriots not be good for once after them being the best team in the league for like 20 years. But I got to sit there and ask, like, man, what the hell are y'all doing? They're worst categorically in a lot of stats, offensively and defensively. They've got injuries up and down the board, making them even less competitive. They've gotten blown out in 3 of their 5 games this year. They don't look good. The quarterback looks lost. I almost wanted to put the quarterback Mac Jones on this list, but honestly, this is a top-down issue. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in NFL history, but right now, man, what the fuck are you doing? Dak Prescott, simply put, I don't know what to make of him. This is a debate that if you turn on ESPN any day this week, this is all they're talking about. Is it the Cowboys coach? Is it the Cowboys quarterback? Is Dak Prescott good? It's the same song and dance. The last, honestly, probably 4 or 5 years. They just can't get it done in the playoffs. And then they get whooped on national TV on Sunday by the 49ers. Not a good look. I hope this guy pulls it out. I'm a fan of his, but we'll see. But right now, man, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And last but not least, the Ravens. Ravens are, playing well. They're okay. I think they're first in their division right now. So you're like, why are they on this list? Because their 2 losses have been really, really embarrassing. They lost to the Colts on a come-from-behind victory last minute, honestly. Very winnable game for them. Just playing down to the level of their competition to where you're just watching the game, and it gets hard to watch. You're like, man, what is happening? Like, real time, you're watching this team just straight up, like, start losing. Like, you're watching the momentum just shift away from them, and you just know, like, oh, man, they're not going to win this game. Happened against the Colts. Happened against the Steelers. That was a tough loss. Division game for them, very important. But, yeah, I know that was a heartbreaker for a lot of Ravens fans. And so I got to ask, man, what the fuck are y'all doing? And that's it. That's the list. Quarter season awards and the what the fuck list. I don't know what to do with that. Your awards are in the mail. You guys will get them. Please don't send me a restraining order. Thanks. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let's get into the bulk of the content. Reviewing these games. First, we'll start with the Chargers. Let's take a live look at their fans right now. And that's about it. They miss Austin Eckler. Hopefully he enjoyed his bye week. Love to see him come back this week. First on my list, let's look at my Rams taking on the Eagles.
Stafford lofting end zone. Nakua, he's got it! Touchdown Rams!
Beautiful play. Great highlight, like I said. Rookie of the year so far, Puka Nakua, pulling in a long touchdown from Matthew Stafford. Given the Shooter McGavin on the quick draw. I love to see it. But that was one of the few highlights there in the first half. Once the second half happened, what's been happening to the Rams a bunch, like I said, remember that narrative? They were supposed to be really, really bad this year. One of those reasons being because there's a lot of rookies on this team. Some rookies are performing extremely well, if not all of them that are playing significant time on the field. But they're still young. They make some pretty rookie mistakes. Even key guys that have been, statistically playing well. Just simple things like missed tackles. You can't have missed tackles on a strong mobile quarterback like Jalen Hurts. And they're a very, very good team. But God damn that brotherly shove. I'm not even going to show the brotherly shove on the show right now just because I'm still irritated by it happening to my team like 4 times this past week. If you want to know what the brotherly shove is, you can YouTube it. And then I'll show it next week. But right now, I'm still recovering from it. That's all I'll say. But that being said, it was a very fun game to watch. I was very surprised on how well they played. Very similar to the Niners game. They played up to the level of the Eagles. The defense held up pretty well. But just the offense sputtered in the second half. It's going to be really interesting to see how the offense can continue to grow. They're missing a run game consistency. So the passing is great. Stafford's stats are great. Having Cooper Kupp back is phenomenal. Top 3 receiver in the league, along with this rookie phenom in Puka Nakua. It's great. It's super fun to watch. But the run game, it's just been super inconsistent. It just doesn't happen when it needs to in very simple situations. For you newcomers, if you hear a lot of people yelling, like I feel like it's a pretty old, like, time-tested complaint when you're yelling about your team, like, run the damn ball. It's because, like, you'll be 1 yard away from a first down, and it just seems so simple. Like, man, just line up, hand the ball off to your running back, and just fight for that yard. Because that's, like, the core of football. Like, just go fight for a yard. I love it. But nowadays, I feel like a lot of coaches, Coach Sean McVay and the Rams included, get too pretty. They do dumb shit. Try to throw the ball deep, pass it on a third and short situation. Man, just run the ball. And we'll see if they can grow into that and start running the ball a little bit more moving forward. Switching over to the Raiders game. Raiders-Packers, Monday Night Football. Holler at my boy Ronnie, the only Packers fan I've ever met in my entire life. Yeah, I mentioned the word Raiders, and my dog walked away. Dog don't want to hear it.
Four-man rush. Love. End zone. Intercepted. Good night. Picked off by Amik Robertson.
That was the game-sealing interception by a Raiders rookie at that. I think he's like 5'9", 5'10". Dude's small. If you're watching the replay here on YouTube, yeah, caught up. He was trailing by about 10 yards or so. Caught up to a deep pass by Jordan Love. Picked the ball off in the end zone. That's all she wrote. Kneel it out. Tough victory by the Raiders. You can call it gritty. It was a low-scoring affair, but honestly, watching that game, it was a tough watch. I know the Raiders are going through some issues on their own, trying to get acclimated with new quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. I've mentioned this a few times on this podcast, that the Jimmy G experience, and what do I mean by that? He's not going to sit there and take over a game. Like, if you're sitting here watching like a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen from the Bills, he's not going to be the most talented guy in the field where it's like, oh, damn, we can't stop him. But he's more of the game manager type where he's gonna run your offense very well. You need to put a lot of talent around him and just let him dink and dunk small passes and let the offense do its job for him. But when things are not going perfectly, his inconsistencies and his lack of playmaking ability is very evident. And on a big stage like this, it gets hard to watch. This is part of that sloppy football that I was talking about, and I truly do hate bagging on the Raiders week in and week out, but I think I hear the moans and groans all over California enough from you guys that I think you probably agree with me. It's not good football that they're playing right now. Kudos by beating another bad team, the Packers. You got to win these games, and that's great. But it was a tough watch. I know they're having a lot of issues. There's been a lot of memes lately about owner Mark Davis yelling at other Raiders fans. It's interesting over there. Between that and the Chandler Jones situation, hope that guy gets some help too. But yeah, just watching this game through and through, keeping it on the topic of actual football, it was sloppy. It looked like both teams, two teams really trying to figure things out too much to the point where I wasn't sure which team actually wanted to win. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. I'm happy that they're able to win. I do like when the Raiders are playing better football because it just kind of seems like all my friends are in a better mood. So I hope they figure it out. Yay. Jump over to the Niners game and that ass whooping. I know we've talked about it a little bit already, but let's jump into looking at a highlight.
Stop! He's already dead.
I couldn't help myself. No, really. Let's actually look at a highlight.
Eliminate them as pass rushers as well.
3rd and 2. Bernie got a punt. Goes end zone. Hat trick. Kittle's first 3-touchdown game of his NFL career.
And that would be George Kittle's 1, 2, third touchdown of the game. A career night for him. I don't know how many yards he had, but I know 3 touchdowns is going to be the most he's ever had in a game, if not tied for most. Cowboys were basically not even on the field. Brock Purdy was near perfect. They couldn't stop the run game. The defense was all over Dak Prescott. That's why we talked shit about him earlier today. And like I said, a 42-10 score is bad. It's amplified more. The reason why it's a big deal for maybe people who haven't been following the narrative that closely, both these teams were supposed to be near the top, like a top 3, top 4 team in the NFC, top contenders for the Super Bowl this year. And just to be able to put it on another team like this and just show that, nope, we're actually head and shoulders above them is huge. This is kind of like a statement. It's prime time. It's Sunday night where everybody's watching. There's not other games on. And to go out there and just straight up dominate like the 49ers did, put the rest of the league on notice that, yes, they are the best team. It honestly looks like they're playing with chips on their shoulder, and that's scary. It's another aspect of football that I love. It's one thing to be talented. It's one thing to be coached well. But if you find a reason to play with a little attitude, with a little chip on your shoulder, yeah, this is like a revenge tour for the Niners, and it's kind of scary. I'm glad my team didn't get whooped by them like that. We at least looked competitive. But, yeah, the Niners got the Browns next, and I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be another ass whooping. But, yeah, congratulations, Niners. You guys are looking great so far. Number 1 team in the league. Cowboys, figure your shit out. And that's going to do it for our wrap-up. I don't know why I sounded like I want to be like Walter Cronkite for a second. Y'all may be too young for that reference. That being said, yeah, that's our wrap-up. We're going to do something a little bit different moving forward. Not going to have the previews as part of this main episode of the review. The reviews are going to be pretty much the bulk of these weekly episodes. Saturdays will be a very, very, very straight-to-the-point, short version of the podcast on Saturdays on YouTube only, where we preview each of our teams' upcoming games. So the Rams, Niners, Raiders, and Chargers preview, snippet, episode, clip, whatever you want to call it. But it'll also be an opportunity for a guest spot for followers of the show. Come on, speak out on your fan base. Those keys to victory. Kind of a little discourse back and forth. I don't want it just to be my voice all the time. Like I said, this is our community. I'm Tuna, and you guys are my little Tuna-ites. My little swimmers. You guys are the little swimmers. Well, that's it. And I think that was the third water pun, fish pun. Damn. I think I just lost half my fan base. Oh, well, time to move forward. That being said, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for listening every single week. Yeah, that'll do it. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's wrap it up. See you guys next week.